Hi, I'm Ashton, and today I'm doing something a little bit different, I don't know, and I'm still recovering from my surgery revision, so pardon the button down. This isn't fancy, this is very informal, but I can't put on proper clothes yet, so. So today I'm doing the assumptions tag because I figured it would be something nice and easy to film while I can't gesticulate that much. So I asked for your assumptions about me on Instagram a couple days ago, and I screenshotted some of them that I thought would be interesting, and I'm gonna respond to them. So these are things that you guys thought about me that may or may not be true, and you will see today. I believe this was started by Luke Cutforth, but it's entirely possible that it wasn't, so if there was somebody else that did it first, please let me know so I can give them proper credit. I'm editing, and it appears that somebody called Sammie Speaks did this video before Luke Cutforth did, so I will link them in the description instead. Woo, cool, yeah. The first assumption that I screenshotted was, you're punk. I don't really know how to respond to this. I guess so, sure. I never really take the time to think about what like style or subculture, counterculture that I can form to, which might just be the most punk thing there is, like not fucking caring. But the music I listen to is like majority in the punk category, at least according to Spotify. I have my little end of year thing here. So I guess so, sure, but people will call my style goth or emo as well. I don't know, I don't really pay all that much attention to it. Right now I look like a slightly formal businessman, so I don't dress based on a style. I don't like present myself based on a style. I just kind of exist as I would like to, and if that falls under the category of punk, sure, why not? Music-wise, I do listen to punk music, if that says anything. I don't know. The second one is, you like anime. I feel like you said you do. I don't feel a certain way about it. I watched an anime in 8th grade that was Attack on Titan, and I watched the first season of Attack on Titan, and that's the only anime I've ever watched. Unless you count Steven Universe, in which case I've watched a decent amount of it, but I'm not caught up. I don't not like anime. It's just not really my thing. If you see a dog, you will say dog, no matter what you're talking about. This is very true. This is the truest assumption about me so far. I do this constantly. Jack can attest to this. If I see a dog anywhere, I will point out the dog, I will look at the dog, I will cry over how beautiful the dog is. I love dogs, I love animals in general. Dogs are great, animals are great, and if I see a dog in public, I will cry. You don't like offensive humor. It depends. I like humor that people above me would consider offensive in a way. I don't remember who I heard say this, but comedy's about punching up, you know? Like if you're a white cishet comedian punching down at gay people, that's very, very different from me making a joke about white cishet guys. I feel like there's an important distinction in comedy and in humor in general. If you can't be funny without being quote unquote offensive, you're honestly not that funny. I also see it as kind of dangerous to have humor that is constantly like not even offensive, but constantly degrading people that are already oppressed just because it's not going to help anything. If anything, it's perpetuating certain stereotypes and certain images, you know, of people that are already oppressed. So yeah, I guess I would say I don't like offensive humor in that context, but if it's somebody like punching up at like, hey, fucking billionaires are gross, man, then I appreciate that. You're super liberal. I would actually not consider myself liberal. I would consider myself a leftist. The American system of conservative and liberal is actually like pushed to the conservative side in a way. So even like liberals in America are relatively conservative. So I wouldn't really consider myself liberal. I would rather consider myself a leftist, which you would probably know if you follow me on Twitter because I'm very political there. But yeah, I'm more of a leftist than I am a liberal. But I guess like close enough, you know, some people wouldn't really think about the difference at all, so. Just for fun, here's my political alignment chart so you know what that looks like. This is a good one. This is from a friend of mine. You are actually a group of bats in a trench coat. Very true. I'm not wearing a trench coat right now, but I am in fact a group of bats. I am not a human. Next assumption, you hate Calvin Gara, or however you pronounce that. I don't particularly hate him. I don't agree with him on the majority of things. I think he's kind of a dick. I know he doesn't like me, at least from the impression I get, he definitely doesn't. I've talked to him once on Twitter. Some of you may remember before he got his top surgery, he made a video about like his anxieties with top surgery, and he used a picture of my surgery like 2 months post-op as like, I don't want this to happen to me, without asking me, without crediting me, and I was like, It's not great. He did apologize for that and he said that he took the video down, but he never did. So we're not on like the best of terms, but I don't hate him. I just think he's not the best person and we aren't like compatible as friends, but you know, it's whatever. I do think he can be kind of, I don't want to say toxic because people use that word all the time, but he's not helping the trans community. He's really not. You're really freaking tired of people criticizing your top surgery. Do I even need to expand on this one? It's just true. I get comments still on like my older top surgery videos like, oh, your surgeon butchered your chest, or like, you're never gonna heal properly. And I'm like, thanks, that's real reassuring. Like, even when people have the best intentions, I'm just really tired of having to explain like, complications happen. It's not my fault. It's not the surgeon's fault. Like, there's always a chance of complications when you get any sort of surgery. It happens. It's okay. I'm mostly just tired, not even of people criticizing them, but of people being misinformed, you know? This person assumes that I was once an emo teen. Was? Was once? Excuse me? Again, just like the punk thing, I don't know that I would consider myself an emo, but I do joke about being an emo, like, constantly. That's just my brand of humor. But yeah, in middle school, I was for sure full-on emo. I know now I have like probably more elements of punk than emo, but at my middle school years, it was black skinny jeans and band tees and hair cover my eyes, which in a way I still have, but I also have other elements of other, I don't know. I don't know what my personal style is, but middle school, yes, I was emo. Still to an extent am. This next one is kind of two things. This person said, "You're not a virgin, little O face," you can see it. And then they sent another one saying, well, virginity's dumb, but still. Click out now if you don't want to hear the answer to this. I agree. I think virginity's really fucking a dumb concept, honestly. Especially because it's so heteronormative and so cis-normative. And as a gay trans person, intimacy for me is different than it is for the majority of people in the world. But if we were looking at it from like a purely physical standpoint, you're correct. That's a weird thing to say on the internet. I mean, I'm 17, Jack's 18, we've been together for nearly 3 years. None of you are surprised. This is a fun one. You're a fan of neo-Gothic architecture. I am. I love neo-Gothic architecture. In art history, we just did a bunch of like Gothic architecture pieces, and like anything Gothic inspired architecture wise, I just think is gorgeous. Like, oh my god. If you don't know what neo-Gothic architecture looks like, I'll just like flag up a couple pictures. It's gorgeous. I love it. I'd never really thought of myself as like a fan of architecture in any way, but yeah, neo-Gothic architecture is like really, really cool. So that was a cool assumption. I appreciate that. This one's really sweet. Other queer kids flock to you at school because of your nice and accepting nature. I like to think so, yeah. A lot of the kids in my school that are queer, I feel like, know me. I've given advice to a lot of younger trans people and people that are still in the closet. I don't want to sound self-righteous, but I feel like me being out and like okay with that has maybe helped other trans people at school be out and okay with that. But yeah, being queer in general, because I am so visibly queer the majority of the time, I do get a lot of like younger queer people coming up to me and asking for advice or whatever, which is great. I love it. Like, that's not a negative thing. I'm assuming you're very confident in your opinions. Most of them, yes. Most of the time I'm very convicted on what I believe, and I also like to think that I'm fairly well researched and I have at least relatively well backed up opinions, but you know, that's an opinion in itself. So you have straight A's in school. I had straight A's until my sophomore year when my dysphoria was the worst in my life, and now I'm a senior and I have straight A's. Stop moving. And I have straight A's except for an AP Human Geo, and I really, really dislike that class. The way that teacher grades is like terrible. I don't understand it. Like, I did notes, I'm not gonna rant about my Human Geo class, but essentially I hate Human Geo. The teacher is not my favorite, and I have a C in Human Geo. You obviously like eating gratuitous amounts of cereal. I actually hate cereal. So no, this couldn't be further from the truth. There is one type of cereal that I like, and it is Trader Joe's strawberry frosted Cheerio, well, fake Cheerios, but you know, that's the only cereal I will eat. I don't like cereal. I just don't. Sorry, you're wrong. You're a bottom. What gave that away? yeah, I'm a bottom. You want a beard. Not in particular. I'd like to have scruff. I do have scruff when I don't shave, but it's not like enough for it to like be considered scruff. I don't know how to phrase that. But no, I don't really want like a full-on beard. I would like scruff to the point where it helps me pass more, because I feel like that would help with my social dysphoria. But I don't really want a beard just because I feel like it would be like too much to maintain. I'd get really annoyed at it really fast. You went through 21 Pilots MCR Panic at the Disco stan phase. First of all, I'm offended that you put 21 Pilots in with them. I'm not actually offended, but like MCR, Panic at the Disco, and Fall Out Boy are the 3 emo bands, okay? I don't know why 21 Pilots decided to kick out Fall Out Boy from that, but like when I was a stan, I guess, of those 3 bands, it was Fall Out Boy. It was not 21 Pilots. Like, but yes, I'm still an MCR stan. I still really love MCR. And I love Panic as well, although Brendon's a complete asshole. Like, I really don't like Brendon Urie, but I like their music. And I'm just gonna pretend that you said Fall Out Boy because they are way above 21 Pilots on my list. But yes, I did go through that phase, and I still love those bands. Just, I listen to heavier, harder music now. I don't know. I'm like a level 11 emo. You like sweet potatoes? Yeah, I do. I went to a private school for like 2 years and then I left because they were terrible. But they served like mashed sweet potatoes with marshmallows on them, which was really good. Except I don't eat marshmallows anymore because they have gelatin in them, which sucks. But I did thoroughly enjoy sweet potatoes at that point. I like sweet potato fries, or like sweet potatoes in a curry is really good. Sweet potatoes are also the state vegetable of North Carolina, fun fact. I learned that because I had to do a project on sweet potatoes in 4th grade. Alright, I kept the rest of these anonymous, but I'm exposing the person that said this one because it's my boyfriend, and he assumed that I'm the prettiest boy alive, which is not true. Jack, be quiet. You are not allowed to say that. And I win because I have the last word in a video because I edit these. Thank you very much. I love you. But no. You have a kink, but I don't know which one. Interesting. Bold of you to assume that I only have one kink. You don't like when others take pictures of you. Yeah, this is another pretty accurate one. I don't mind, like, taking pictures of myself taking pictures as long as I'm in control of the camera and, like, where I am in relation to the camera. But I don't like when people take pictures of me, mostly because of my dysphoria. I'm, like, extremely insecure of how I look in pictures, and in photos. That's the same thing. I used to be worse about it. There are pictures of me at a wedding in a dress, like the last time I ever wore a dress, with really long hair, and my mom wanted a picture, and I didn't know I was dysphoric at the time, but I was really dysphoric, so all the pictures of me, like, making terrible, ugly faces, so she wouldn't use them because I didn't want to be seen in a dress. You expect to marry Jack. I don't know about this one. I don't think Jack knows about this one either. I do, like, expect to be with Jack the rest of my life, but I don't know that marriage will, like, be for us entirely. We're not really in a rush to do anything. We're in a committed relationship and we're healthy, like, without being married. And marriage would be like 10 years in the future, you know? So, maybe, but I don't, like, necessarily expect to. You used to be more uncomfortable with compliments, but it's gotten better. This is true. This is also from a friend of mine, so I feel like they know this, firsthand. I used to be really, really bad at taking compliments, especially because of my dysphoria. This video is just like a dysphoria expose, but yeah, I am definitely, I think, better at taking compliments now than I was even a year ago. So yeah, personal growth, character development, you know, it's good. And finally, you're a dog person. I'm actually an animal person, but as we discussed earlier, I do love dogs, but I also have a soft spot for cats. I don't know why we gotta pick between this dichotomy. I love both. I'm non-binary in the world of cat versus dog lovers. I love both of them, and I'm not going to pick one over the other because they're both great. I have 2 cats and 1 dog, so numerically, I like cats more. I would say I'm a dog person, but I would also say I'm a cat person, so. And that is all. That was pretty fun. I think a lot of those were really accurate. There were some that I was like, ooh, wow, that's me, fuck. And there were a couple where I was like, I don't know where you got that from. But I guess that's how this goes. So let me know if you enjoyed this, and let me know if you would want me to do this again. Maybe I would do it through other platforms than Instagram, because I know not all of you are on the Instagram. But yeah, that was fun. I hope that you enjoyed learning a bit more about me. I don't know how I'm gonna sign this one off, but goodbye. I hope that if you assume something about me that it's positive, and I'll talk to you later, maybe.